All attributes, you know, one line you have to speak in the interview. Some people said, sir, approach is not done. Yes or no? Objective means the aim of writing the test plan. Scope is which modules to test, which module not to test. Test methodology, the types of testing that we have to perform. Schedules, when to start writing the test document, when to end it, when to start understanding the requirement, when to end it. All those things will be given in the schedules. Templates are nothing but different formats. Schedules are very simple. Others, there is no rocket science here. Guys, when I'm saying schedules, which particular date we have to start understanding the requirement, which date is deadline for understanding requirement. Now, date to start writing the scenarios. Next is end date. Date to start writing the test cases. End date. Date to start testing and end date. Are you understanding the schedules? Yes. 1 minute. But I think definition is given for schedules, correct? Definition is given for schedules. Yes, no, le one fellow, one answer. Le. Okay. Those who have not written, write one line. It's absolutely fine. Right. Schedules. These are the deadlines. These are the deadlines. These are the deadlines given for the testing team. These are the deadlines given for the testing team to start and stop the testing activities. To start and stop the testing activities, like to start and stop the testing activities like understanding requirement, understanding the requirement, comma, writing test documents, understanding the requirement, writing test documents, and for test execution process. And for test execution process. And for test execution process. Then it's like our deadline, guys. See, one exam, 3 hours, when to start, when to stop. Suppose some classes, when to start, when to stop. That is nothing but your schedules. So schedules is clear for everyone. Next, approach. Listen carefully. Listen. Approach carefully. Listen. When I say approach, generally it is a flow chart, guys. Okay, because see, when you open the requirements and when you read it, will you understand the whole application or your particular module? Generally, in the company you will go, they will assign you 2 modules. When you open those 2 assigned modules and you are understanding it, will you understand the whole application or only your modules? Correct? Only particular your modules. But when I say approach, generally approach is just a diagram. And what they will mention, so neatly they'll mention like this. Okay, first they will have something called as, let's assume, URL. Under this URL, then they will go to the login page. Okay, under the URL, then it is going to take us to the login. From login, it is going to take us to the home page. Again, from the home page, okay, it is going to show the home page. Again, under the home, many attributes are going to be there. Okay, Under this, let's assume you will have a compose module. Okay, then you'll have, let's assume, some inbox module. Okay, inbox, and then let's assume many modules will be there. Also, you'll have chat also. That means observe, even though you are, let's assume that you are assigned only with chat. You are assigned only with chat. Again, under chat, you will have text chat. You will have your call, video call. You will have settings. You will have audio call. Correct. Again, many things will be there. So just assume this is what they will mention under flow chart, under your approach. So when you see your approach as a test engineer or a developer, what they will understand, tell me? When they give you this, follow this process, correct? See, approach is nothing but it is a flow chart where the flow of the application will be written in the diagrammatic form. Are you understanding? And this flow chart is for whole application or only for your modules? Is it for whole application or only for your modules? It is for whole application. So when I see this, even a newcomer will understand. Oh, first we have to log in through URL, then it will take us to login page, then home page will be displayed, then all other submodules will be displayed. This is the diagram they will mention under the approach. Is it clear? Yes. Okay. Just to write this diagram, one line I'll give you. One line I will give you. So again, as I said, you under text, it may be text may be there, text chat. Just to write this diagram, guys, one line, I'll tell you what. Then they may have calls. Some calls may be there. Then status may be there. So you'll easily understand which is the main module, which is the sub module, everything you'll understand. Hi baby, good morning. Write quickly, guys. Just write quickly. Because I said, test plan is generally a question for your leads and managers. So one line also, if you understand, that's more than enough. Just write the diagram quickly. Done. Diagram is done. Right. Approach. One simple line I'll give you. It talks about the complete flow of the application. Approach. It talks about the complete flow of the application. Complete flow of the application in the form of a diagram. Complete flow of the application in the form of a diagram. In the form of a diagram. Dana. So it talks about the flow of the application in the form of a diagram. Okay, now let's go for important attributes, guys. See, till now, what I have told you, I'll tell you. One line, if you read and go also, it's enough in the interview. Okay? Every interview, see, 90% they are not asking what is a test plan. Please listen to my sentences carefully. 90% they will not ask what is a test plan, but 100% they're asking, explain me what is assumption risk mitigation plan. All these three are same, guys. I don't know whether you have written same or separately, but generally these three, assumption, risk and mitigation plan are same only. They're not a separate attributes. Okay, they ask you explain me assumption risk mitigation plan and explain me test deliverables and explain me entry and exit criteria. 200% they're going to ask these three questions. Am I clear first of all? Yes or no? Quickly, tack, you tell. Good. Let us talk about this assumption, risk, and mitigation plan. Now, carefully listen, guys. See, whenever you are doing some work, I tell you, whenever you're doing some work, let's assume, next Monday, my exam dates are announced. So today I am preparing a plan. I'm preparing. What I will prepare? Next Monday is my exam. Suddenly they announce today. You'll sit and prepare a plan. What is that plan? Tell me. Keep it simple. Don't give me one big paragraph here. I'll plan something. What is that I'm going to plan? What should we study? Which topic we should study? Go there, baby. Correct. What should we study? And how many chapters I have to study? How much time I have? Next. You tell me one thing now. How to divide perfectly? How to divide the topics, hourly topics? Now, also in your plan, will you include some risk? This risk means suppose within 2 days I am not able to complete this subject. What will I do? That also will plan or not? Suppose by Sunday night I am not able to complete this subject. Then my plan will be let me leave this topic. Correct? Total some 25 chapters are there. Only 14 chapters are finished. So 2 chapters, if I'm not able to read, then I will do one thing. I will leave this topic and I concentrate on important topics only. Correct? Like that, observe, every project when we start, some risk will be there. See, life will not go exactly like whatever we are expecting. Simple concept. So some backup plan should be there. If this happens, what should I do? Very simple concept, I'll tell you. In the car, you have a Stepney, correct? But will you always use a Stepney, or it's just a backup plan? Whatever the car, you have a Stepney, right? You observe, it is just a backup plan, correct? If at all puncture happens, then let me use that Stepney. But guys, your tire got punctured, you change the Stepney may also get punctured. Possible, not possible? Stepney may also get punctured, correct? Now come to this point. Now my manager is preparing one test plan. Now he's saying my assumption is example number 1. This is assume that this is what I'm writing, right? This is my example number 1. If test engineer leaves the job in between, possible, not possible? In between the project. If test engineer leaves the project in between the project, then they're discussing, okay, if he leaves, what will happen? The quality of that module will be affected because everyone is working on different module, guys. You are working on one module, I am working on one module, the third person is working on one module. So if he suddenly quits, obviously the quality of that particular module will be affected. Yes or no? Correct? So now, so we should have some backup plan for that. 100% we should have some backup plan. That backup plan is called as a mitigation plan, guys. So assumption is, if the test engine leaves the job, the risk is quality of that module will be affected. Mitigation plan or contingency plan or the backup plan or the backup plan will be what, every module should have a primary and a secondary contact. Means listen, very simple example I'll give you. Assume guys, this is a module number 1, just assume, and this is a module number 2. This module number 1 should be taken care by test engineer number 1. That means this module is assigned to test engineer number 1. Same way, this M2 was given to the test engineer number 2. M2 was given to the test engineer number 2. And now what they said, the test engineer 1, you are the primary contact for M1. Tell me what's the meaning of a primary contact. Test engineer 1 is a primary, and test engineer 2, you are a primary contact for the module number 2. Means what? You are primary contact. Means what? It's not closely connected. You are the first person who is taking responsibility of M1. You are the main person who is taking care of M2. Means M1 is assigned to test engineer number 1 and M2 is assigned to test engineer number 2. So you should take care of this. Now they will also tell what, lay test engineer 1, lay, you should act like a secondary contact. Yeah, we'll take it. You should act like a secondary contact for M2, and test engineer 2, you should act like a secondary contact for M1 in absence of test engineer number 1. Are you understanding, guys? If suddenly something happens to test engineer number 1, you should be able to test M1. If suddenly something happened to test engineer number 2, you should be able to test M2. That I am calling it as a secondary contact. Is it clear? That means, should you remember, from the beginning, 1 minute. From the beginning, only 1 minute. Tarun, fast. I'll call you, Tarun. Sorry, I forgot yesterday. But 10 o'clock, sure, I'll call. Okay, guys. Observe now. Observe. So this test engineer 1, always you should have a knowledge of M1 as well as M2 also. Right sentence, wrong sentence. Test engineer 2, you should have knowledge M2 and M1 also. Okay. So this is my backup plan. It's always one module, two fellows should be responsible as a primary contact and a secondary contact. Now, example, I said, my assumption, I'm going on trip. My assumption is my tire got punctured. Risk is on the road only, problem will be there. Now, my mitigation plan is we should have this one. What I said, my mitigation plan is Stephanie should be there. But tell me, Stephanie can also get punctured sometime. Possible, not possible? So what they say, guys, mitigation plan is not a 100% solution. It is just a backup plan. Is my sentence right? You cannot say, if I have a mitigation plan, everything will be proper. Because if test engineer 1 is leaving, we are talking about all this drama, right? 1 and 2, can they leave at a time only? They both are friends. Can they leave at a time? Yes, this is an example of assumption, risk, and mitigation plan. Come to example number 2, guys. Everyone knows that we have something called as a test server. Okay, we have something called as a test server. Now, all of us are testing seriously, and what happened? The test server is down. Obviously, the application is installed in test server. So the test server is down. Can we continue testing or we can't continue testing? Correct? We can't continue testing. So the mitigation plan is please have backup servers also, so that whenever a server is down, I can tell my testing engineer, hey, okay, please access the backup server and start testing or continue testing. But let me tell you, that is also not an 100% solution. Can you tell me why? That's also not a 100% solution. Why? A simplest answer. Have a backup server. Correct. Backup server may also be down sometime. So guys, now listen. Like this, my managers and my leads, what they will do, when they're preparing the test plan, that time only they will decide, oh, what problems can happen and how should we resolve? What problems can happen? How should we resolve? That is the concept of assumption, risk, and mitigation plan. Easy, easy mitigation, or we can also call it as a definitions. I'll give you contingency plan. You can call it as a mitigation plan or the contingency plan. Okay, good. Now write this example. What to tell in interview? I'll tell you. This is just an example. That's all. In interview, how to talk about assumption, risk, mitigation plan. The definition I'll give you. Just write these two examples. Write the definition now. Right, assumptions. These are the problems. These are. Am I audible? Everyone is writing. Everyone is writing. Someone respond. Okay, right. These are the problems that may happen. These are the problems that may happen during the testing process. These are the problems that may happen during the testing process. These are the problems that may happen during the testing process. Risk. It is the effect of. It is the effect of risk. It is the effect of the problems that may happen. It is the effect of the problems that may happen. It is the effect of the problems that may happen. Dana. It is the effect of the problem that may happen. And mitigation plan, or as I said you, contingency plan. I can call it as a mitigation plan or contingency plan. Right. It is a backup plan. It is a backup plan that acts as a solution. It is a backup plan that acts as a solution for assumed risk. It is a backup plan that acts as a solution for the assumed risk. For the assumed risk. For the assumed risk. Dana. That's all, guys. Actually, they'll not ask you examples also. These 3 lines you have to speak when they ask about assumption, risk, and mitigation plan. And see, assumption, risk, and mitigation plans are connected attributes. Am I right? So we should say assumption and risk and the mitigation plan. Are you understanding what I'm talking? It is not a separate attributes, guys. All these 3 are interconnected with each other. Done. Good. Let us quickly go to the next one. Observe. Has Uma given definition of tested deliverables? No? Okay, good. Now listen. Definition he has given. That's okay. Given and not given. I want to explain for my satisfaction. Listen. Now, whenever you buy a product, it can be a washing machine, or it can be a fridge, or it can be a TV, any product. Have you seen, along with that, they also give you some documents, guys? Have you seen that? All this TV or this washing machine or whatever you buy, fridge gifts, they are nothing but a products. They're nothing but a product. So once you go and pay the money to the shopkeeper, along with the product or along with the washing machine or along with the fridge, they also give you some documents, correct? Catalog they give, manual they give, how to use, some instructions will be there, guarantee card will be there, one big booklet will be there, all different parts, how they are integrated. See, we take it, that's okay, but do we read it? General, I'm asking, general question. Once he gives, we take it. But until suppose after 1 year some problem happened, then we start searching for the document. Yes or no? Installation guide will also be there. Right? Like that, guys. All of you remember one more thing I forgot to write here. Very important one. Installation guide. Installation. Like that, whenever we are handing over the application to the customer or when we are delivering the product to the customer, along with that, we also give them the set of documents like test cases will be given to the customer. Next, if automation is done for that, scripts is also handed over to the customer, because guys, next release customer may go to some other company also. Possible, not possible? This release he was happy with me, but next release he don't want to continue with me. In such case, he requires these cases and the scripts. We also hand over the RTM document. Customers see all the test cases we have written. Every requirement is covered. Execution report is required. You tell me why. Compulsory we hand over this report also. Why? Quickly, one word answer I'm expecting. That's all. Correct. That only defines the stability. That is what we have discussed, guys. That's a proof that application is stable. Okay. Along with that, the fifth point, listen, we also give them something called as release notes. Okay. Release notes means what? Whenever we are handing over the application, some instructions under release notes, installation guide will be there. How to install the product. User manual will be there. Platforms on which the whole application is tested, whether it's tested on Windows XP, it is tested on Windows 10, it is tested on Windows 11. So whatever different platforms we have tested, that will also be mentioned. Plus, I want you to concentrate here. They will also mention the list of existing bugs in the current release. Means some config bugs may be there. Some deferred bugs may also be there. Yes or no? Every release have some config bugs and some deferred bugs. So we are telling them, customer, these 5 bugs are there. These 5 bugs are there, which will be in the next release. Same way, we also tell them, suppose in the next release, list of fixed bugs from the previous release. Are you understanding the last line? List of existing bugs in the current release we will give them, and list of fixed bugs from the previous release also we will give them. Yes. So concept is very simple, guys. Release, when I say test deliverables, these are the complete 5, whatever you're saying, right? All 5 are the documents that is handed over to the customer along with the application. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, people first write the definition. Take the heading as tested deliverables. I'll give you the definition. Then you write all these 5. Tested deliverables. These are test deliverables. These are the necessary documents. These are the necessary documents. These are the necessary documents. These are the necessary documents that are handed over to the customer. These are the necessary documents which are handed over to the customer, along with the product or the application. These are the necessary documents which are handed over to the customer along with the product or the application. Along with the product or the application. Like, you write all these 5. Like test cases, test scripts, RTM, test execution report, release notes, everything you edit. Release note is prepared by test lead only, not by the test engineers. The installation guys, your user manual, all these things. Fifth one is by your leads itself base. And the concept here is all of understand. We are not learning who is preparing. Question is okay, I agreed. The question is a valid question. But our concentration here is what documents we are giving it to the customer. Copy it, everyone copy it. Done. And in interview, again I'm repeating, 300% they will ask you test deliverables and entry and exit criteria, guys. Assumption risk also some fellows are not asking, but test deliverables, and they'll also ask you, give me the list of those documents. It's not one line definition. Copy it. Yes, Arun, you are right. Okay. Now let's go to the important one. Okay, let's go to the very important one, guys. Listen. They'll ask you, explain me entry and exit criteria. Is there written enter? Entry and exit criteria. You tell me, what is the entry criteria for to join QSpider's course? Think and give the answer. What is the entry criteria for joining QSpider's course? Graduate job should be there. Like, what you are talking about? Like, degree should be completed. I'm not asking what is the intention. I'm asking entry criteria, guys. Please understand English. Okay, 100%. If you want to join, the simple concept is what, graduation should be completed. Okay. Next, what is the exit criteria? When do you exit QSpider? That is nothing but exit criteria. When do you exit QSpiders? After getting a job. So that is called as a entry criteria for QSpiders is degree should be completed. Exit criteria for QSpiders is after getting a job. Same way, guys, please listen. There are some conditions to start testing, some condition to stop testing. Are you understanding my language? If you want to start testing, you cannot directly start testing. There are some conditions will be there, correct? So there are some conditions to start testing and there are some conditions to stop testing. Now observe. Don't see anything, don't judge also. Wait. I will draw one line here. Which color is this? Let me take red only. It is always highlighted. Okay. Observe, guys. Assume I'm drawing one line here. Okay. This line is nothing but what, this line, what I've drawn here. This I can say that this line is a entry criteria. Entry for testing. Okay. So entry for testing is nothing but first point. All documents should be ready, required or not required. Required or not required. All documents should be ready. Next, all resources must be ready. Resources means what, guys? Resources means test server should be there. If you're using tools, tools should be there. If you're using some bug reports, tools. So all tools, your test engineer, test manager, test lead, everything comes under resource only. Yes or no? So test documents must be ready, resources must be ready, and build should also be there. See, when I say build should be there, obviously it means that it should be installed. Where Obviously, when I say build should be there, it should be installed where? In the test server. Perfect. So these three are the entry criteria for testing. Easy. These three are the entry criteria or entry condition for testing. Easy, 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 easy. Good. Now, can I say entry for testing is by default nothing but entry for functional testing? Is my sentence correct? When I say entry for testing, that is nothing but your entry for functional testing only. Now I started functional testing, guys. Now I started functional testing. Everyone remember, we have a functional testing, we have an integration testing, and we have a system testing. Like that, we have to write functional test cases, we have to write integration test cases, and we have to write system test cases. That will teach you. That will teach you. So types, these three types of testing, we also write these three types of test cases. So entry for testing, or I can call it as an entry for functional testing. I started functional testing, guys. Okay. When I started functional testing, let me draw one line. Okay. Let me draw one line here. Still a little bit big line here. This big line. Now, guys, can I say this line, whatever I'm drawing here, it will become, this will become what, you know, this is an exit for, this line is a exit of FT, and entry for which one? This is an exit for FT. This is an exit for FT, and you only give me the answer, right? Correct. Exit for FT, and it will become entry. It will become entry of integration testing. So generally, you tell me, if you want to start integration testing, what is a simple condition? Tell me. You already know the answer. If you want to start the integration testing, what is the condition? I'm not asking a new question. That's a very old question. No. Don't tell me like that. Dependent model, all that is nonsense answer. No, Valay. 100% no. What simplest answer I'm expecting? Don't make it. Yes, FT should be done on all the modules. Yes or no? Don't speak whatever you want. The simple condition for this integration testing is FT should be done on each and every module. Second question, when you are doing FT is done. That means all FT cases are executed. Is it correct sentence? When do I say my functional testing is done? Sir, I have tested all my functional test cases. So I'm saying FT is done. So guys, listen. Let me complete this 1 minute. Entry of functional testing. This will become exit of integration testing, and let me copy this. Control C, and this will become what, you know, this will become entry for perfect. Good. Entry for system testing. Again, the next line, whatever I've written, right? This will be an exit criteria, exit of system testing and release. Release means what? And RELEASE. Release means what? Exit for system testing and release. Release means, see, forget about UAT, because I don't care about the customer what they do. I am going to hand over the application to the customer. Simple concept. Because all other types of testings are not mandatory. Remember this point. So 3 lines I have drawn. Now carefully listen. Carefully listen. Now, how do I stop my functional testing? How do I stop my functional testing? It depends on some factors, like the first factor. It depends on the percentage of test cases executed. Okay, it depends on the percentages of the test cases executed. Means, and also It depends on the percentage of test cases which are pass. And third, how many critical bugs are there and how many major bugs are there and how many minor bugs are there. If you observe, percentage of test cases executed, at least, okay, at least 90% of the test cases must be executed. 90% means 90% of which test cases? See the diagram and talk. I'm talking about this line. Correct. 90% of the functional test cases must be executed. Remember that point. Okay, 90% of the functional test cases must be executed. See, remaining 10%, see, 1 month was given for me for functional testing, guys. Due to some reason, almost all functional testing is done. 2-3 simple module, I couldn't complete the functional testing. This scenario is possible or not possible? 2-3 simple test cases were there, which I couldn't complete. Possible? Now manager says it's okay. You can do it while doing integration testing. Are you understanding? I'm giving you some flexibility. At least 90% should be completed. Remaining 10%, when you're doing integration testing, that time only you do, absolutely no problem. Now, number of test cases pass. Okay, at least I'll tell you, 85% of the test cases must be passed. See, if all the test cases are failed, can you start integration testing, guys? Or 50% of the project is not working properly. Is there any meaning to start integration testing? So we are saying at least 85% of the cases should be passed. And before you go to integration testing, some 5 to 6 major critical bug may be there, and some 10 to 12 minor bugs may be there, sorry, major bugs may be there, and there may be some, I can tell you, there may be some 12 to 15 minor bugs may be there. Now observe, if you meet it, see, if all the cases are executed, if everything is passed, there are no bugs, is it good or bad only? Is it good or bad? It's good only, guys. So I'm saying what, bad. What you are saying, if all the cases are passed, is it bad? It is like what, guys, engineering, they are giving you flexibility. 1 or 2 subject, if you have a back also, you can do it in the next semester. Yes or no? 1-2 subject, if you have back, it's okay, no problem. You can do it in the next semester. Like that, this is a flexibility, that's all. So if you want to start integration, this condition is a minimum condition, I'm saying you. Minimum. Now observe, 5-6 critical bugs are there, major bugs are there, minor bugs are there. But are you handing over the application to the customer? Are you handing over to the customer? Correct? No, I'm still continuing my testing. Okay. Now, next, come to the integration testing part. Conditions are same, guys. Okay? Conditions are same, but only difference is what, if you want to start system testing, 95% of the test cases must be executed. 95% of what? 95% of the test cases must be executed. Functional or functional and integration both. Is it only functional integration both? Yes, it's both, guys. Functional integration, totally 200 test cases are there. 95% of the cases must be executed and 90% of the cases must be passed, because quality increases. Yes or no? As the testing is going on, the quality will increase. Critical bugs. Okay, since last stages are coming, 2 to 3 critical bugs are there, no problem. You continue testing. Major bugs, some 5 to 6 major bugs are there, you continue testing. Minor bugs, 10 to 12 minor bugs may be there. Is it clear what I'm saying for everyone? Are you understanding? Now, integration testing is also done, or time is over. but almost integration is completed. Now they'll say start system testing. Now to stop this system testing, guys, 100% all the written cases must be executed. Yes or no? Whatever cases we have written, each and every test cases must be executed. Point number one. Point number two. See, because it is end of testing, 96 to 98, or we should always, I see, okay, let me write like this, 96 to 98%. One ನಿಮಿಷ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Be online. Okay, guys, observe now. 96 to 98% of the application should be stable. Okay, because can you guarantee 100% bug-free application? Is it possible, guys? Correct. That is impossible, I'll tell you. And next, observe. And second thing is, observe, guys, there cannot be any critical bug when the release is happening. There cannot be any critical bugs. Also, major bugs are not allowed, but there may be some, it's not that compulsory there should be. There may be some 5 to 6 minor bugs also. And these minor bugs are nothing but which bugs, tell me? These minor bugs are yes, deferred bugs and the can't fix bugs. These are the deferred bugs and the can't fix bugs. Now, can I say this line, whatever I have written, guys, exit for system testing and release, okay? This will be also, this line, I can call it as a what, this is an exit criteria for my testing. Am I right? This red line is the right. This is nothing but my exit criteria. I'm coming, baby, for testing. Have you understood this? So entry exit is nothing but these are the conditions which will be decide when to start testing and when to stop testing. Understood, everyone? Okay. All of you write this diagram. Please, all of you write this diagram. In interview, they'll not give you a chance to write diagram. How to explain in interview, that I'll tell you. Only copy this diagram of entry and exit criteria. And one more thing. Do you think every application it is always like this only? 90%, then you can go. 95%, then you can go. 96, 98. Any rule is there? No, guys. There is no rule like that. That also depends on application to application. But generally, this is a trend of entry and exit criteria. Am I confusing you or it's clear? Am I confusing or clear? Oh, copy. Copy, guys. Copy. Copy 5 minutes I'll give you. Then I'll give the notes for this. about the diagram, percentage, all these things. When they ask you explain the entry and exit criteria, what to speak, everyone write. These are the necessary conditions. These are the necessary conditions to start and stop the testing process. These are the necessary conditions to start and stop the testing process. These are the necessary conditions to start and stop the testing process. Next line. Start and stop the testing process. Next line. The entry criteria are the entry criteria are all the resources must be ready. All the resources must be ready. All the resources must be ready, comma, necessary documents should be written. Necessary test documents should be written. Necessary test documents should be written. Necessary test documents should be written, and build should be ready. And build should be ready. And build should be ready. Next line. Next line. The exit criteria for testing would be. Next line. The exit criteria for testing would be. The exit criteria for testing would be. All the written cases must be executed. All the written cases must be executed. All the written cases must be executed, comma, almost all the cases should be pass. Almost all the cases should be pass. Almost all the cases should be pass. Almost all the cases should be pass, comma, comma, there cannot be any critical, there cannot be any critical or major bugs. There cannot be any critical or major bugs. Whereas there may be some, minor bugs. There may be some minor bugs like deferred and can't fix bugs. There may be some minor bugs like deferred and can't fix bugs. There may be some minor bugs like deferred and the can't fix bugs. That's all, guys. This ends the love story on test plan. Dana. Yes. Now take a fresh page. Take a fresh page. and write the heading as test cases. Take a fresh page now. Take a fresh page and write the heading as test case. So this will be the last topic. Agile, I'll teach you later. Agile, I'll teach you later. But general continuation, I want to be last this. See, test case definition have you already written, guys? Yes, already I've given you the definition of a test case, right? Now, whenever you want to write test cases, what all things you should have, I said. Whenever you want to write the test cases, you tell me what all things we should have. When to start testing and when to stop testing is nothing but entry and exit criteria only, Avinash. Correct. However, they'll ask when to start, when to stop is nothing but your entry and exit criteria. Requirement should be there. I'm not asking definition late to write test cases. Requirement should be there. Scenarios should be written. And one more condition is what? One more important thing only you're not telling me. Template should be there. Perfect. So let me open that. Now listen. You are only saying, sir, requirement should be there so that inputs can be derived. Second. Is my manual on time? Scenario should be written. Correct. Scenario should be written. And as I said, template must be there. And guys, only if you have templates, we can easily maintain the uniformity. Yes or no? So that every test engineer will write in the same order and the attributes will be same. Order will be same, the attributes will be same, will not miss out any points. There's nothing in this template. 1 minute. Okay. Now, careful listen, guys. Careful listen. See, when they give you template, now you observe till here. I said this is a header portion. The test case name, the test case type, correct? The requirement number, the module name, the status, severity, release, version, precondition, test data, and summary. This is nothing but the header portion. And from here till here, this is nothing but called as your body portion. Now, let me explain you this. Everyone listen carefully. Let me explain you this. So before I explain this template, test case name, test case type or requirement. Listen it. Deepo, back to Deepo. Observe, guys. Let us go. Don't write anything. Let us go one by one. First, you observe from test case name till summary. First, I'll teach you one line. Test case type is very easy. Are you writing a functional test case, or are you writing an integration test case, or are you writing a system test case? So we have to write. Okay, I am writing a functional test case. So here there is yeah, nice. So here there is no problem. Yes or no? This is a very simple attribute. Which type of test case you are writing, you just mention there. Requirement number, you will get this information from where? Requirement number, you will get this information from where? Correct. From requirement document. I am writing this test case for the requirement number 5. Module name also, amount to transfer. This is also very simple. I will get this information from requirement document only. Status is after execution, and execution also we have discussed. Do you remember? Pass, fail. When do we say pass? When do we say fail? That also we have already discussed. Don't say no. Yes, everyone saying yes. We have. I neatly remember. I've done with that. So status also is after execution. Next, come here. Okay. Severity. 1 minute. I'll teach you. Release version also teach you now. Only give me 1 minute. Precondition is a very, very important topic I'll cover. Precondition and test data is interrelated, but summary is also easy. Summary means what, you know? One line about this particular test case. Is it clear? Summary is nothing but just a one line description. What is your intention of writing this test case? What is your intention of writing this test case? So test case type is easy. This requirement number, there is nothing rocket science. Module name also, there is no rocket science. Status is pass or fail after testing. Summary is also nothing but one line description about what is your intention of writing this test case. Am I clear till now? I'll explain it, don't worry, how to write also. Is it clear till now? Yes? Now let us take these things, guys. First we'll finish test case name, severity, release, version, precondition. I'll open one diagram. Don't know whether I have it or not. Which 1 minute. Yeah, I have it. No, baby. Now you play. Go out and play. Okay. Can you see the screen, guys? Everyone can see the screen? Okay, this is very simple, I'll tell you. See, this is not at all a technical thing, first of all. Release and version are the two attributes which we have to fill, guys, which we have to fill. See, as soon as you get job, let's assume you got job. Can you assume? You got job. Assume or you can't assume? Yes or no? You only don't have confidence from where I live. No means I understood only. No means your life will be like that only. I'll tell you. Good. At least remaining people, yes, sir. That's all. Observe, guys. As soon as you join the project, they will say, hey, boy, you are going to work on this ICICI application. This is application we have been developing and testing from last 2-3 years. Okay. But right now, you will be working on, let's assume, Cheetah 2.0. So you have joined in Cheetah 2.0. As soon as they say, so you will be working on Cheetah 2.0, you'll ask them, sir, where is Cheetah? Where is Tiger? Guys, remember, Cheetah, see Cheetah 1.0, Cheetah 2.0, Cheetah 3.0, Tiger 1.0, Tiger 2.0, Lion 1, Lion 2, Lion 3, Lion 4. This Cheetah, Tiger, and Lions are nothing but the names of the releases. The names of the releases. Whereas this 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, again 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, these are nothing but the versions. But remember, is the application name Cheetah, Tiger, and Lion? Did I say? What is the name of the application? Tell me. Correct. The name of the application is ICICI only. Now, why we give names like this? Listen. As soon as the application is given to the customer, he will start using it. He'll start using it. When he starts using it, within 2-3 days, he will come and say, boss, I want some minor changes in my application. See, whatever the username you have kept here, can you move it a little bit left side? And the color I want you to change. And the font sizes, I thought it is enough previously, but now I want you to increase the font size. Is it functionality changes or it's a minor changes? Is it a functionality changes or it's a minor changes? It's a minor changes, guys. See, minor changes are always there. You go and buy a bike. You completely pay the money, buy a bike or scooty. After buying, again that seat cover, your handle grip or some stickering, you will do. Yes or no? All such kind of small things, will you do it or not? Correct? Because till you get that product, you thought that this is how my bike will work. But bike working, you are satisfied. Some minor changes are required. Like that, Cheetah 1.0 means first it was handed over to the customer. When customer started using, he felt that some minor changes are required. Now immediately company will tell what, guys, customer is asking for minor changes. But see, generally whenever they say change, test engineers and developers will always get scared. Do you know why? Especially test engineer. A customer is asking for some changes. You will always get scared. Why? Give me the correct answer. Don't give me wrong answer. Why test engineers will get scared when customer says changes? No. It's not any issues. What you are saying, Vale? They'll get changed. They'll get scared. Why? Simple concept, because they have to do regression testing. They have to identify the impact area. All scenarios they have to test. Risk analysis should be done. Code changes may have some impact. Perfect. Correct? Obviously. But now what your manager says, guys, changes we are doing. Release name is Cheetah only. But from 1.0, we are going to go for Cheetah 2.0. So now it means what, it is just a minor changes. Some colors, font sizes, the object here and there. Now will the tester will get scared or not? Will he get scared or not? Yes, no. So again, after once we do some minor changes, again after 10 days, I want some more minor changes. That is Cheetah 3.0. Okay. Now observe. After 6 months, customer comes and says, I want some functionality to be changed. I want to introduce a complete new feature. I want to modify a feature. I want to delete a feature. Is it major changes or not? Is it major changes? Now your manager calls and says, guys, now this ICS application, Cheetah releases are over. We are going for Tiger release. Means what? By default, what you should understand? Cheetah release is completed, guys. Now we are going for Tiger release. Means you should be very careful. It may have some impact area. So you should understand it properly. Impact analysis should be done. Again, Tiger is over. Again, some Tiger 2.0. Again, Lion. So this is just a names, guys. Please understand. So this Cheetah, Lion, Tiger, this indicates the release names, and that is nothing but the major changes. Whereas 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, all these are the versions or the minor changes. Have you understood? Have you understood? Yes. So you just write it as a note. Before I teach you the header portion completely, 2-3 notes I'll give you. First you complete this note. This is the note number 1. No definition, guys. Because I'm saying, once you join the company, they will only ask you to write the release name and version name in the test cases. Is it technical? It's not a technical. This Cheetah 2.0, whatever you're writing in the test case, is it technical? Correct. There is no. Whatever he's saying, you write it. That's all. Version names according to minor, release names according to major. Correct. That's all. That's all, Uma. Whatever name he is saying, you write it. That's all. Nothing more than that. Whatever your name your father has kept or mother has kept, it will be printed in your marriage card or marks card. There is no technical thing over there. I will teach you attributes one by one, and then we will write the complete test cases. We'll see it later. Okay. 1 minute. Hello. Like example of major changes, you are Dadnan Maklu. Like we are not engineers. Any new functionalities are added means you only think about it. That much also, if you can't think, means serious and thing. Don't tell me that you have done engineering only. Copy it fast, guys. Just to copy whatever is there on the screen like a note. Minor is look and feel, correct. Major is new functionalities they are adding. That also, if you're asking me, give me example means what? Dana. Honestly. Shall I change the screen now? Okay. Next, guys. Now observe. Let me open the test case. Now you will understand it. Everyone have a look at test case name. Everyone will have a look at test case name. See, whenever you are writing your name, you have a format. My first name, my last name, or the middle name. Yes or no? Or my first name, my middle name, and my last name. Generally, our names, it has a format. We always write our name according to the format, correct? Same way, guys, when you are writing a test case name, what they say, first you write the release name. First you write the release name, underscore, version name, underscore, application name, underscore, module name. Is the format clear? First of all, it is a naming format of a test case. We never give test case 1, test case 2, test case 3. No, it has a naming format like our name. So release name, underscore, version name, underscore, what application name, underscore, module. So if you see this test case, guys, I have written what Cheetah. I'm writing a test case for Cheetah release 2.0 version. The name of the application is ICICI and the module is amount to transfer. Is the name format clear for everyone? Whatever format they give, you have to write in the company. That's all. Okay. Good. Don't write. 1 minute. So this release and version also you have understood. Okay, now come to the severity. Very simple. You already know generally what is the meaning of a severity case. Generally, when I say severity, means what? Correct, impact. But listen. Wrong. Severity, boss. First of all, it is an English word that you guys are not understanding. I know your answer. Sugma, mechanical, ni majina, badia. Severity means which bugs to fix first. Who is your manual faculty? Now, are you understanding, guys? Severity means which bugs to fix first, it seems. And you will ask me, sir, when I will get a job? First to sit and study, ole. Study properly first. Okay, guys, come back. What, I get irritated after teaching like this, Badranaka, if you give wrong answers, means imagine. Okay, leave it. Come back. That's okay. See, don't tell me sorry, ole. I'm not scolding, I'm guiding you. That's all. Remember. Now, listen, guys. Severity is an English word which can be used by anyone. Yes or no? It's an English word. There is no rule that severity means impact of bug on application. You are wrong. Severity in bug life cycle means impact of bug on application. I have also used a word called as severity in test case review process. Do you remember? In test case review also I've used. That means what type of mistake you have done. So listen, severity may be a critical or it may be a major, or it may be a minor. If you are asking me, sir, generally what is the meaning of a severity? All of you remember, guys, severity English meaning is what importance. This is an English meaning of a severity, which can be used anywhere. Hey, the patient condition is very severe, very critical. Have you heard of that? Oh, patient, I don't know whether he will leave or not. His condition is very, very serious. Okay, now observe, guys. Severity means it talks about the importance. It can be major, it can be minor, it can be major or minor or critical. In interview, they're asking you one question. The question is what, 1 minute. Okay, guys, carefully listen the interview question. They'll ask you, test engineer has written 300 test cases on this release. Okay, 300 test cases he has written. Now the question is, how many test cases will they execute? What is your answer? How many test cases will they execute? What is your answer? Think and talk. Correct? Good. Very good, guys. Very good. Sir, all 300. Perfect. All 300 I will execute. Because otherwise, did you write this test case for time pass, guys? Obviously, no. So all whatever I've written, every test case I'm going to execute. That is a perfect answer. Now they'll ask you one more question. Listen, carefully concentrate now. Second question is, boss, we have a time constraints. We have a time constraint. What is the meaning of time constraint? Tell me. For the release, we have a time constraint. Means what? Correct. Previously, we thought the time is there, but due to some reason, my calculation was wrong. Time is less. Time is less. Now, we have some time constraint. Now, how will you execute the test cases? First of all, question, are you understanding? Question, are you understanding? We have a time constraint for the release. How will you execute the test cases? Now, because, observe guys, it's like what, I have 10 chapters. All 10 chapters questions will be asked in the interview. All the 10 chapters. But you have only 1 hour to prepare the interview. Now, what is your approach? Tell me. Only 1 hour is there. If they would have given me 10 hours, I would have prepared all the 10 chapters. Now, only according to the importance, right? Now, our answer is what, we have a time constraint. How will you execute the test case? According to the severity of the test case. Severity of the test case. Because the person who has written the test case, he can leave and go tomorrow. Possible, not possible? I wrote the test case, you are writing the test case, I can leave and go. If I don't mention which is an important test case, which is a critical, which is major, which is minor, tomorrow if a new person comes, he may start with minor test cases only. He may start with minor cases. Yes or no? Yes. That's why, sir, according to the severity of the test cases, I will execute. My first preference is what? You only give me now. My first preference is perfect, is critical cases or critical test cases. Then my second preference is what? Major test cases. Now we should say, and if time is there, if time is 1 minute. If time is there, then I will go for what? Minor test cases. Now we will cross question. That means, are you saying that we will never execute minor test cases? What is your answer now? Wantedly ask like this. Oh, that means you are saying you will never execute minor test cases. Now you tell, sir, I already told you that all cases must be executed. Since you said time is not there, this is the approach we are going to follow. That means, guys, in the test case, severity means what? It talks about importance of the test case. Am I clear? Bug life cycle definition of severity is different. Test case definition is different. So severity means here in the test case, this will be my note number 2. Severity means importance of the test case. It may be critical or major or minor. And this is how they are going to ask the interview question. This is what answer you have to give. Am I clear with severity content now? Am I clear? Copy this. Copy. So writing test case, again I'm repeating, don't think that company is paying you just because you gave definitions. Any time software company can throw you outside. Yes or no? Any time I'll tell you. Even CEO also, vice president also, manager also. Tomorrow morning only they can throw. So only clearing interview, never study for that, guys. Never study. Understand the content and you should be ready to write the test cases in the company. Am I audible? Copy this. Some rascal fellows they don't understand what they want to live. They'll pay the fees, they'll come to the class, they'll not listen, they'll simply log in whenever they want, they log out as soon as 10 o'clock is done. They don't understand the intention of that people. But it is good. They are making me rich. Such kind of waste fellow should also be there, I'll tell you. You will also become rich and my placement headache will also be less. Copied, guys, everyone. Now observe. Okay, right. Kirti, right fast, no? At least take a snap. Take a snap. 1 minute. Now you observe, guys. That means severity also you know. You have to write the severity according to the importance of that particular module. Now left out is precondition and the test data, guys. Now all of you understand precondition and test data is the most important and the toughest attribute of the test cases. I'll repeat. Precondition and test data is the most important and tough to write. Tough to write. Your whole test case depends on precondition and the test data. If you write a wrong precondition, whatever 40-50 steps you have written, all the steps also is of no use. Are you listening? Are you listening? Whatever test case, big test case you have written, right? Without a precondition and test data, if you write, it's a flop. If you write a wrong precondition test data for 2-3 test cases, 200% they'll throw you out of the company. I'll tell you, after joining also they'll throw you. So tomorrow, first I will teach you these attributes. What is a precondition? What is a test data? Very, very important. Again, I'm saying writing the body portion is dead easy, but toughest is precondition and test data. So tomorrow, 8 o'clock sharp, I'll start the class. I'll complete teaching precondition and test data. Then we'll go for the body. Is the concept clear? Done, guys. So let's meet tomorrow at morning 8 o'clock. Bye, everyone.